Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, a new anti-Semitism survey reveals significant European ignorance about the Holocaust and a growing European perception which attributes to the Jewish people too much influence across multiple industries and global decision-making. Iran's nuclear chief threatens the European Union's top diplomat that Tehran's patience was running out on the bloc's pledges to keep buying oil despite the ironclad American sanctions. U.S. President Donald Trump reveals in an interview with the American Washington Post Daily that Israel is one of the reasons behind the U.S. military's prolonged stay in the Middle East. More than a quarter of Europeans believe that Jews have too much influence in business and finance, while nearly 1 in 4 Europeans think that the Jewish people have too much influence in global conflicts. In addition, 1 in 5 Europeans said that they believe Jews have too much influence in the media and politics. In a new survey that was published by the American media network CNN, which interviewed more than 7,000 people across Europe, that included more than 1,000 respondents respectively in Sweden, Germany, Great Britain, France, Austria, Hungary, and Poland, the poll revealed some complicated and sometimes disturbing attitudes about Jews and a growing trend of ignorance vis-a-vis the Holocaust. The report uncovered a disturbing fact in which 1/3 of Europeans confessed that they knew just a little or nothing about the Holocaust, the genocide of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany in the 1930s and 1940s. The lack of knowledge was particularly grim in France, where 1 out of 5 people between the ages of 18 and 34 said they had never heard of the Holocaust, while in Austria, where Adolf Hitler was born, 12% of young people said they had never heard of the Holocaust either. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was interviewed by CNN about the threatening poll which was commissioned by the American media giant prior to the deadly attack in the United States last month at a Pittsburgh synagogue where 11 Jewish worshippers were brutally murdered by a self-declared anti-Semite. Netanyahu reiterated his response during a meeting with the IDF Commando Brigade that the answer to anti-Semitism is the State of Israel and the IDF.
אני בא עכשיו מראיון עם CNN, לפני שבאתי הנה, CNN ראיינו אותי. יצא דוח על האנטישמיות באירופה, שהאנטישמיות גדלה. הוא שאל אותי מה עושים נגד. אמרתי לו מה צריך לעשות באירופה. אמרתי לו, התיקון הגדול ביותר לאנטישמיות זה מדינת ישראל וצבא הגנה לישראל.
The Israeli leader underscored to the Israeli troops that while the Jewish people were once like a driven leaf in the wind that could be slaughtered, today the Jews have the power to respond to any aggression directed toward them.
פעם היינו עלה נידף ברוח והיו יכולים לטבוח בנו פשוט לרצוח אותנו. היום יש לנו את כוח המענה. אנחנו ערב חג החנוכה. רוח המכבים מפה, אתם המכבים. ואנחנו גוברים על האויבים שלנו. אנחנו גוברים עליהם בעוצמה בלתי רגילה, ברוח בלתי רגילה שאני רואה כאן, ואני רואה בצה"ל, ואני רואה בכל הלוחמים והלוחמות שלנו. ואני רוצה להגיד לכם, קודם כל, חג חנוכה שמח, ואני רוצה להגיד לכם שאני גאה בכם, אני מאמין בכם, ועם ישראל מאמין בכם.
Prime Minister Netanyahu also took the opportunity to observe a multi-scenario exercise of various units of the IDF Commando Brigade, which is scheduled to last 10 days in various parts of the country. The Israeli leader spoke with the soldiers participating in the exercise and was briefed on its developments and the country's preparedness by IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Gadi Eisenkot and other senior military officers. Meanwhile, in Europe, EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini welcomed the Islamic Republic's Atomic Energy Agency Director Ali Akbar Salehi for a meeting on European efforts to preserve the all-but-lost nuclear agreement with Iran.
It's so good to see you. It's always my pleasure to see you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been
Thank
too
you.
long.
Thank you.
Following their meeting, the Office of the European External Action Service, which is also headed by Mogherini, released a statement in which it reiterated EU concerns about Iran's aggressive role across the Middle East. That said, the statement revealed that both Mogherini and Salehi equally expressed their determination to preserve the nuclear agreement as a matter respecting international agreements and a key pillar for European and regional security. Prior to the meeting, the Iranian nuclear chief threatened the European Union's top diplomat that Tehran's patience was running out on the bloc's pledges to keep buying oil despite the ironclad American sanctions.
We have not yet seen any tangible results. So they are promising us that they are doing their best to be able to translate all what they have said in political terms and turn it into realization. In other words, to materialize what they have said. So we wait and see, but I will pass certainly a word of caution to her that I think the period of patience for our people is getting more limited and limited.
The Iranian official explained that unless the Islamic Republic will be rewarded by the benefits which were granted to Tehran under the nuclear agreement, the Iranian leadership could not remain part of the deal and would resume its nuclear activities.
Well, if we cannot sell our oil and if we don't enjoy the financial transaction, then I don't think keeping the deal will benefit us anymore. I mean, because you see, we have accepted some limits and constraints in our nuclear activities, but in return, we are expecting to benefit from the economic side of the deal. And if we are not to benefit from that part, then what's the purpose of staying in the deal and accepting the constraints and the limitations in our nuclear activities?
When asked whether the Iranian nuclear program could resume its enrichment activity to the degree that it had before the 2015 nuclear agreement took effect, Salehi revealed that technically it is very easy for the Islamic Republic to resume its nuclear operation that would place it yet again on the course of attaining a status of a nuclear weapons threshold state.
Technically speaking, it's very easy for us to go back to what we were before, even to a better position. In other words, we can start the 20% enrichment activity. We can increase the amount of the enriched uranium because we are limited to 300 kilograms now, so we can increase that. And so there are so many other things we can do, but I wish that we never reached that stage.
Now, in other news, U.S. President Donald Trump revealed in an interview with the American Washington Post Daily that Israel is one of the reasons behind the U.S. military's prolonged stay in the Middle East. Furthermore, the American president revealed that oil assets across the Middle East has become a secondary consideration in the U.S. administration's decision to stay in the region. Trump explained that the growing domestic oil production, which has reached its highest capacity in U.S. history, served as an alternative to Middle Eastern oil production that has rendered American presence in the region less important. Nevertheless, President Trump did not provide a timetable for U.S. military disengagement from the volatile region, which, according to several senior administration officials, American presence in the Middle East at this time served the national security interests of the United States. Thank you for watching us. Keep praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.